What's up, guys? Just got back from a little road trip up to the northwest of the United States. It was great, about a week long, and I did this whole podcast while traveling. There's a little construction. I'm gonna come back in the house. So we did this podcast while traveling. The training clips that you're going to see, number one was me teaching Chrissy the flow that I just recently put out. So if you want to see us learning and playing with that, then check out the clips. And number two is that, man, being in the car for a long period of time, traveling, it's hard on the body, right? And there's nothing like breaking it up by doing some movement. So, you know, multiple times when we had long driving days, we are stopping in parks to do a training session, but really just to play and get some movement in. And, you know, I was reflecting on this, and what's the biggest parallel to traveling? Well, it's probably work, right? Where you're just sitting down for a long period of time. You gotta break that up, right? Even if it's just with a walk, but hopefully it's with something where you're moving your body in different ranges of motion, a little bit of play, a little bit of stretching, whatever it is. If you can break up those long periods of sitting, your body will love you for it. If you're enjoying the podcast, hit the like button right now. Smash the like button. I've been hearing people say that. Let's get to it. We are on episode 5. Did you know number 5 is my favorite number? This is gonna be a good one. Currently, we're road tripping. This is a travel edition. I'm with Chrissy. You might not be able to hear her on the mic, but if she has anything good to say, I will tell you what she says. We're traveling. We actually just left Oregon. We're in Northern California, rolling through the redwoods. I could also see the ocean, this vast ocean. I could see why the Vikings thought that the ocean went on forever. Maybe there's no land out there. It's pretty incredible. Anyways, let's hop into it. We have some good topics to cover today. The first thing that we're going to talk about is, well, I'm going to share some of my story of developing more of a full practice, developing what I think you could call a holistic practice to your health and fitness. And, you know, back when I started in this fitness journey, all I really knew was lifting weights, and a lot of you guys know that, and I think for a lot of you guys it's been a similar journey. So reflecting on that part of my life, I was realizing how one-dimensional my practice was. And I think that in the beginning it was very ego-driven, and the reason I was lifting weights was to get big muscles and to, I don't know, post cool stuff on Instagram, right? Of me looking jacked, me lifting a lot of weights, and but I think I passed that stage eventually. And I internalized my practice a little bit more, and I was using my practice to get stronger, physically and mentally. And, you know, progressing in, let's say, a deadlift, and you go from starting out, you can deadlift 300 pounds, and then you go on to, you can deadlift 400 pounds. And, you know, that 100 pounds that you gained represents a lot of growth that you went through physically in that physical practice, but also, you know, you're probably going through some growth in your mindset as well, and you're learning things about yourself, and you're learning things about your practice and how to get better and how to learn better. But what I realized was when I was only lifting weights that this was very one-dimensional, because I could only really improve in one way, and that was getting stronger and adding more weight to my lifts, right? Maybe, you know, my technique and form could get better as well, but not a whole not a whole range, not a lot of variability in the way that you can grow. So when I became more multifaceted in my approach to fitness, thanks for it. Chrissy gave me that word, multifaceted. Thank you for sharing that with me. I started seeing that there were a wide range of things that I could improve in, right? Instead of just being able to add weight to the bar, add weight to the dumbbells, now I can still, I still lift weights, I can still add that weight to the barbell, but I can also improve upon my range of motion. I can improve my mobility. I can develop more flexibility in my body. I can also improve my strength in different ways. I can improve my strength by being able to control my body more, being able to control my body better. Strength has different ways of expressing itself, right? And it's not just about how much weight you can externally lift, but maybe now I can hop onto my hands and stand there easier, right? There's all these different ways that you can trigger more growth in your body, and that this is inevitably going to lead to more growth in your mindset, more growth in your spirit. Can we say spirit? We can say spirit. Yeah. And I think that, this really, let's see. I wrote something down. Which, for you guys that are tuning into all the podcasts, this brings us back to move different, think different, right? Unlocking new things in your body, unlocking new ways of moving and going about thinking about your body and thinking about your fitness. This is going to just really accelerate change, and change really accelerates self-improvement, self-growth, right? You're going to start thinking about things in new ways, and this is going to be reflected in the spirit, right? Like, it's going to change the way that you are existing in the world. And I think that all of this can really just lead to more fun in your life and more fun in your practice. It also gives you a lot of freedom of your practice as well. I think we are all kind of in the mindset of thinking that we need external things to be better at fitness. We need this group class, right? We need this really good group instructor. We need this fancy equipment. I need to pay for this like really elegant gym membership. But I think cultivating more of this holistic practice, you can start finding that, oh shit, I can improve my fitness anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it was very, very empowering when I traveled for a extended period of time, and I was able to just train anywhere. Like, I can think back to training in just the weirdest places, like on street corners when I couldn't find a park, but in many, many parks, in airports, right? Like, you don't have to be confined to thinking that your practice needs to be in a certain place with certain equipment, right? And I think this leads into something that Chrissy mentioned earlier, which is not compartmentalizing your fitness and your practice, right? I think that too much we think of our fitness as something that's just like 3 hours a week, right? I'm doing this group class 3 times a week for an hour, and I get in, I get out, and I go about my life. But we're living in our bodies, and there's 23 other hours of the day, right? And when you start developing more of this holistic practice, you can start using those other hours of the day to move, to live more naturally, and to do these things that that help develop you as a person and kind of embody your body more. It's a motherfucking lifestyle, man. So this kind of transitions us into the next topic, which is creating more of that lifestyle that cultivates more movement. And I think what's really, really important is if you can cultivate more real connection through your movement, right? I think that it's very challenging to go about these things alone, right? You need some sort of community, you need some friends or some people that are like-minded and trying to kind of chase after the same things that you are. And I think that you can cultivate this by trying to develop relationships with people around you that are centered around getting better, moving more, moving in a certain type of way, right? So, you can, and this is another way to start kind of changing your lifestyle. One thing we're also talking about is like so much of our social life is based around a lot of times kind of unhealthy things, right? Drinking alcohol or going out for huge meals or whatever. I'm not opposed to either one of those in moderation, but if the only time you see your friends is to go to the bar and get wasted, so to speak, then that's, you're not really cultivating more of this healthy lifestyle, I guess you could say, right? And I know for me, that's how I grew up. Starting from high school into college, the weekends were all about partying and just kind of chasing these de-stressors that I thought were de-stressors, right? To kind of go have a bunch of drinks, and it felt like connection, but it wasn't real connection, really, and I had to make some big changes in my life, and I had to kind of walk away from certain relationships with people, walk away from friend groups, to just kind of live the life that I more so started prioritizing and that I thought was important to me. And we started attracting more of it, right? The deeper you go into it, you start attracting the like-minded people. You start attracting those type of communities, and before you know it, you have a new group or whatever. You have a new community that you are getting better within, I guess you could say. And yeah, I think that's really powerful. And I think that, true connection cannot really be made over the internet, right? Once again, Instagram, YouTube, great sources for inspiration, great ways to learn, but it's not enough, right? You got to limit your exposure on these platforms, I think, right? You got to not be always glued in there, because if you are, then you're going to be missing what's up from the screen in real life, right? So, this is all just kind of tied together in changing the way you look at things and slowly changing the lifestyle, right? This is not all going to happen at once. These are just little things that you just start thinking, you know what, I'm I'm gonna choose to replace one of my gym sessions with a park session, right? And then, you know what? I'm going to not go to the bar on Saturday nights. And, all these little things happen, and it creates a snowball effect until one day, you're, hey, I'm pretty darn happy with my life right now, I'm living the way that I want to live, and I feel free. Maybe I feel more free in my body. And I think that is what we're all after, and that's what I'm trying to share, is going after more of a feeling state, right? Going after, who cares about the big muscles, who cares about the six packs, who cares about the Instagram clips. If I feel good in my body and I'm walking tall, then I'm doing the right thing, and I'm making change in myself, and I'm probably making good change in the world. Whew. Damn. Well, that was, Chrissy says that was beautiful. Oh, no, she said the beach is beautiful. Damn, I'm like, she said my words was beautiful, but really she's talking about the ocean, and it is very beautiful. I think that is enough for this episode 5 of the podcast. Enjoyed this one, guys. Enjoyed being here with y'all. Like the video, subscribe to Strength Side if you're enjoying the podcasts. I'll put the playlist on the screen now. Hey, put them on while you drive, put them on while you're working out. Tune in, share this time with me. I think in the next podcast I'm going to talk maybe about nutrition in one of the next ones. So if you guys have any questions on nutrition, leave them below. You know that we're going to go deep into it, so I'm not going to tell you what macros you should eat, but we're going to talk about your relationship with food. That's all for this one. Stay tuned for the next one. Oh wait, see you in the next one. Oh wait, as always.